You're watching over and over and over again the Positive Arsenal channel. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video, I just want to look back on last night's good Europa League win against Molde here at the Emirates. Just before I do that, I just want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you like what I do, please click the subscribe button down in the corner there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. And if you've got any comments at all about the game last night, about the performance, or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop me in the comments box as well, because it is always nice to hear from you guys as well. So the team selection in last night was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it? There was one or two surprises thrown in, as is usually the case with Mikel Arteta. He's very difficult to read, isn't he, with his team selections? And the first sort of surprise really was in goal. Bernd Leno started the game. Now, of course, Alex Runarsson had started the last week's Europa League game against Dundalk, and I think we all expected him to start the game again. But it was Bernd Leno got the nod. Now, when Mikel Arteta was asked about it in the press conference after the game, he said that Bernd Leno is his #1 choice for the Europa League, and last week he just felt, because of the number of games, that he needed a rest. That was why Runarsson played, and this week Leno's back in. So that kind of explained that, really, which is fair enough, I guess, although you would imagine that Runarsson does need more time. Quite surprised that he didn't get the nod in this particular game. We went with a back four, actually, which is a little bit unusual for Arteta. He doesn't tend to pick a back four very often. So it was Ainsley Maitland-Niles at right back. Good to see him back in the starting lineup. The centre-backs were Mustafi and David Luiz, returning from injury, of course, a big boost that is ahead of the weekend game. And left-back was Sead Kolasinac. We then played a three in midfield. It was Ceballos and Xhaka sitting a little bit deeper, with Willock in front, given a licence to roam, of course, after his fantastic performance last week against Dundalk. And then the front three, again, a little bit of a surprise. Willian started on the left, maybe surprising to see him in. Nketiah was through the centre, and Pepe started on the right. Willian's inclusion seemed to be maybe down to the fact that Reece Nelson, who played well last week, was carrying an injury, as was Emile Smith-Rowe. So that was a starting lineup then. A very strong side, actually, maybe a little bit stronger than we'd imagine. And also, as well, on the bench, there was no Balogun, of course, who came on against Dundalk last week for his debut. Mikel Arteta explained that as being just a squad rotation thing, and he said that the younger players will get chances later on in the competition. As for the performance itself, I thought we started quite lively, actually. Eddie Nketiah had a couple of early chances, didn't he? He almost got on the end of a Willock cross, couldn't quite get enough of a connection on the ball to turn it home. And then he was one-on-one with a goalkeeper, maybe lacked a little bit of conviction, actually. And the goalkeeper was able to get a block in before the defender cleared it. But after that, it wasn't great, was it, for 20 minutes or so? We were very slow. The passing wasn't very accurate either. We gave the ball away far too much. Credit to Molde, actually, because I thought they were very organised, very strong. They came with a game plan, and actually it worked for them, because they did take the lead in the 22nd minute. But from our point of view, it was a really, really poor goal to concede. Far too many gaps in the midfield and in the defence. It started, actually, Bernd Leno's clearance. He kicked the ball up the field towards halfway, actually, towards Eddie Nketiah. But the two central defenders were miles apart. The two central midfielders were miles apart. There was just a big, massive gap through the middle of the pitch. As soon as Molde won the header, they just had all the space in the world to work in. The ball eventually came through to their winger, Ellingson, and he was able to curl a shot from 25 yards past Bernd Leno into the corner of the net. Good finish, actually. It was a good goal, but he was given far too much space. It was terrible, terrible organisation, which is unusual, isn't it? Because since Arteta's come in, without the ball, we've been very, very organised and very solid. But this was a poor goal, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta had a lot to say about that at half-time. But credit to the team. They rolled their sleeves up, got themselves back into the game, and did manage to get ourselves level before half-time. Fully deserved it was. Just before that, actually, in the 43rd minute, we'd had a goal disallowed really, really harshly, actually. It was Pepe had put a cross in from the left-hand side following a short corner, and Eddie Nketiah arrived to slide the ball home, but the flag had already gone up for an offside against Joe Willock. It wasn't Joe Willock that put the ball home. The goal should have stood. But once again, we were on the wrong end of a controversial decision. It did seem a little bit ironic, actually, that Mikel Arteta was complaining about the lack of VAR in the Europa League after we'd had a goal disallowed by VAR wrongly against Leicester in our last Premier League game at home. So I suppose it swings and roundabouts sometimes, but we've come on the end of two bad decisions now. This could have been a crucial one as well, because if we'd gone in at half-time 1-0 down, that could have made a massive difference. But luckily, we managed to get ourselves level just a couple of minutes later. The last attack of the half, it started with a Molde corner, actually, and a really good break from Arsenal. Willian got the ball in midfield, played the ball forward, and there was Xhaka actually running through in the centre-forward position. It was obviously he was going to run out of legs before he got in a position to shoot. So he played the ball out to his right-hand side to Nketiah, and his cross was turned home by defender Haugen. Willock was sort of arriving and would have scored, but it was the defender who got the final touch, knocked it into his own net. So at half-time it was 1-1, and we deserved that. And it did settle us down. In the second half, we did play a lot better. Ceballos seems to have a little bit more freedom to get forward and help support Willock. We should have taken the lead, actually, 9 minutes into the second half. It was a cross from the right-hand side from Maitland-Niles. The Molde goalkeeper didn't deal with it at all, pushed it to the far post, and there was Kolasinac arriving, open goal about 4 yards out. It was on his right foot, which is maybe a slight excuse, but he really should have scored. Instead, he fired it over the bar and in front of an open goal. It was a terrible miss, and luckily it didn't prove too costly, because it wasn't that long afterwards, about 8 minutes later, we did take the lead. And again, it was another own goal. So 2 own goals in one game, which is quite unusual. It was a good move, actually, leading up to it. Xhaka put Willock in down the right-hand side. He drilled the ball across the 6-yard box. Nketiah was waiting to pounce, but it was a defender, Sinya, who'd come on at half-time, who arrived first and got the final touch and knocked it into the net. So we were leading 2-1, but Molde had actually scored all 3 goals in the game up till that point. Straight afterwards, Mikel Arteta made a double substitution. Cedric Suarez and Bukayo Saka replaced Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Willian. And it wasn't long after that we did get the 3rd goal, the 69th minute. And Saka was involved, actually. He looked really lively when he came on. Straight away, got himself involved, got another assist as well. He got clear down the left-hand side, got right to the byline, pulled the ball back to the edge of the penalty area. And Nicola Pepe was coming in and hit a first-time shot from the edge of the box into the corner of the net to make it 3-1. And that was, of course, his second Europa League goal in consecutive games. He had a bit of a mixed bag of a performance, actually. Very poor at times and looked really good at other times. And I say another good goal, but you can maybe see why he's not playing regularly. He's just not doing enough throughout the game, is he, to warrant a place. He just shows flashes of brilliance. And this was a great finish. There's no doubt about that. It was then really a matter of if we could score some more goals, really. Molde had run out of steam by this point. They looked very tired. Willock had a good chance to score, 15 minutes to go. It's a long ball over the top. I think it was from David Luiz. Lovely first touch, actually, in the box. But again, the finish, maybe that's a little bit of conviction, and Molde are able to clear the ball away. We then made another double substitution. El Neni and Tierney replaced Ceballos and Xhaka, changed the shape of the team slightly. It didn't really make an awful lot of difference. Straight after that, we had another goal disallowed. Again, it was Eddie Nketiah, not having any luck at all. It was a shot, first of all, from Bukayo Saka, which hit the post. Again, it was a similar miss to Kolasinac, actually, an open goal. He should have scored, but he hit the post. It came back to Eddie Nketiah, who finished it. But Bukayo Saka was offside. He was given offside, and this was the correct decision. But again, Eddie Nketiah, unfortunate to have a goal disallowed there. Molde then actually had an opportunity to pull a goal back, could have made it an interesting last 5 minutes. It was their substitute, James, who had the shot, a player that I highlighted in my preview video the other day. His shot looked like he might have been creeping in the corner, but it got a deflection on the way off David Luiz. In the end, it went into the side netting, and had it been 3-2 at that point, you never know what might have happened. But in the last couple of minutes, Willock finally got the goal he deserved. Another good move it was. It was Pepe threaded the ball through to him inside the penalty area, and he drilled it into the roof of the net to make it 4-1. So overall, it was a comfortable victory. Maybe the scoreline was a little bit, flattered us a little bit, because Molde certainly gave a good performance for a large part of that game. I say they maybe ran out of steam a little bit towards the end, and Willock was able to get the goal he deserved. So in terms of man of the match, I think, again, there was 1 or 2 standout players. I thought David Luiz played well at the back. Good to see him back in the team. I thought Ceballos in the second half played well. First half, he was quite ineffective, but he was given a little bit more freedom in the second half, so he put in a good performance. I said about Pepe, he was a bit hit and miss, wasn't he? Just had some great moments, another goal, another assist, but some really poor play as well from him. Eddie Nketiah looked lively, didn't he? Made some great movements and great runs. A couple of times his finishing wasn't great, and of course he was unlucky with 2 disallowed goals, so it could have been his night, but it wasn't quite. So I think man of the match again has to go to Joe Willock for the second Europa League game in a row. Thought he was the outstanding player on the pitch for us. Got his goal in the end. In fact, he could have got a hat-trick, couldn't he? One of the own goals he would surely have scored, and he had 1 or 2 other chances as well. So he's a one midfield player, isn't he? Who takes the risks, gets in behind the defence, makes those runs in. He makes the third man run into the box, tries to get on the end of things. And he showed a lot of quality as well, didn't he? His assist for the second goal, and he got the ball across the box was really good. And his overall play, again, was really good. Surely he now deserves an opportunity in the Premier League. Not quite sure whether he'll get a start in place. I think the midfield in the Premier League, El Neni and Thomas Partey is pretty strong, but he certainly deserves a place on the bench on Sunday, doesn't he? Maybe he can come on and make another impact, because this is the second Europa League game in a row he's produced a man of the match performance. So fantastic from Joe Willock. Again, he is man of the match. So yeah, it was in the end, I say it was a comfortable victory. Not the greatest performance overall. There were good moments in the game, and there were some poor moments in the game. Of course, a very poor goal to give away, as I mentioned before. But overall, we did what we had to do. We worked hard, and we got the result. That's 3 wins in a row now in the Europa League, top of the group. And in fact, if we can avoid defeat away in Molde in the next group game, then we'll be through. And if we can win that game, then I'm pretty sure we're going to win the group as well. If we can do that in the next game, and hopefully the final couple of group games, we can use a few more of these younger players, can't we? Get them a bit more time on the pitch. Maybe Renarson in goal, as I said. Maybe Balogun as well can get some game time in the last couple of group games. So yeah, satisfactory performance, a good result, and we move on to Sunday now. Really big Premier League game that is ahead of the international break. If we can go into that break on the back of 2 Premier League victories and 4 wins in a row in all competitions, that's really going to put us in a good position. And then we can come back with the game at Leeds, and hopefully we can push on now. A lot of tough games coming up before Christmas, isn't there? So I think Sunday's game is now really important. We got the job done last night. I say it was a bit of a bitty performance at times. You can still see there's a lot of work to do. Maybe the new system took a little bit of getting used to in the first half. Maybe that might have explained that. But overall, I say we won the game quite comfortably in the end. I say it was a decent night's work. And I say we move on now to a really big game now on Sunday against Aston Villa. So that's that there then. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Click on the subscribe button just down in the corner there. That'd be really great if you want to do that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. I've got some great stuff coming up as well. Tomorrow morning, I'm releasing my Aston Villa preview video, looking at past games between the clubs, score predictions, predicted lineups, all that kind of stuff. That'll be released tomorrow morning. And then on Sunday morning, I'm speaking to an Aston Villa fan, Joe. We're going to be talking about the game and some memories of his previous meetings against Arsenal, that he can remember some memories from that, and all kinds of stuff. That'll be really good as well. That's going out Sunday morning. So loads of stuff coming up. On Sunday as well, I'll be doing a little bit of coverage of the game, a live team reaction video I'll put out. I may do an after the match roundup as well, and then Monday of course I'll be releasing my usual Premier League weekend roundup, and also a more in-depth review of the Aston Villa game. Hopefully another good performance from Arsenal, hopefully another victory before the boring international break of course. So I'll try and fit a live show in actually next week to fill the time before we're back in action of course at Leeds the week after that. So I say thanks for watching, thanks for your support of the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done, please like the video, and of course in the meantime, ahead of a big game this weekend, come on you Gunners! You've been watching over and over and over again the Positive Arsenal channel.